域展開。無料空所。
What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Spectro here, and I want to talk to you guys for a bit, alright? I need you guys to see all the Highguard news, alright? Highguard shut down March the 12th. Honestly, well, man, I wish I could say I'm surprised, but I'm not, because of the Concord situation. I kind of saw that maybe this could go down the same route. Now, was I rooting for his failure? No. By no means I was rooting for this game's failure, honestly. I'm not the type of person who wants to just root for failure for a game. But definitely looking at the character designs of this game, it was definitely not going to be nothing noteworthy standing out from all the other live service games out here. And I think we should all look what's going on around us when it comes to live service games. They're literally cannibalizing each other. We're dropping so many live service games that they're all just consuming the other, alright? We have Overwatch, we have Rivals, we have Apex, we have Fortnite, we have, the list goes on and on and on. Valorant, the list goes on and on. Like, why do we keep making thousands and thousands of live service games? What the fuck is going on right now, bro? Like, every time I turn around, I see that there's a live service game dropping, you know. And honestly, I would honestly not even blame too much of this just being a live service game, even though it's just another kind of generic slop. And I really don't like to use that term very often, but that's just what it is. Honestly, it didn't do anything special, and I played the game. I gave it a chance, and that's not saying much coming from me, because honestly I only played one match. And I gave it a chance because I was thinking, like, bro, for this game to be shutting down already, and there's no way, bro. Like, there's no way this game could be, like, that bad. That's what I was thinking, like, because what people were saying, and at first I was just going to ignore this game completely. But I was seeing, you know, Twitter's being Twitter. You know, everybody's losing their minds on their, I'm used to people being super negative on that, on the social media app. But there's nothing there, all right? People are going to be super negative on Twitter regardless. But the way they were describing this game, like, this game was just a monstrosity. Like, this game was the worst thing that's ever came out, bro. And I refuse to believe that was the case. And it was not. I played Highguard. I had fun. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I had fun the first match, alright? It was my first and only match. Only because I played it so late, honestly. I played it, like, really early in the morning. I played, like, 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. And I was like, I'm gonna try it out. Downloaded it. Got a game in. No, first I did a training. I went to training, you know, learn how to play, make sure I knew how to use abilities and everything. Make sure, even though I'm very familiar with hero shooters because I played a lot of Overwatch, I played a lot of Rivals, I still like to go to training just to get familiar with how this game works, how these characters work, you know, just to get that familiar feel. And as I was playing, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. You know, this character could do this, character do that. And honestly, it's not that it was like bad. Bad wouldn't be the word, honestly. It just didn't do nothing that impressed me, and I think that's worse, honestly. I think it would have been a lot more interesting if it had just done something outlandish that no other game had ever done, or any other hero should have done, than just kind of playing it safe. And I think this is where this game pretty much falls apart. It plays it safe. It does the most generic thing ever, and it doesn't help that the Game Awards decided to pretty much put this as the final game of this presentation. Yes, I know it's been said time and time again, but that was such a bad idea, man. With the stigma around live service games currently, and Jeff Keighley deciding to pretty much put that as the last game is crazy work, bro. Like, honestly, I like that, and I think that was just pretty much sabotaging. I bet you this game was not the last game of that Game Awards, people would not have cared as much about the game. In fact, this game would have had enough time to just be under the radar. Most people wouldn't have known about the game. It would have been its own little niche community, and it would have went from there. It probably would have survived off what it had built off its little niche community, and eventually it probably would have got popular once everything got worked out, smooth through. But it definitely would have lasted a lot longer than it currently is. Bro, this is insane, honestly. And then what got my attention, and originally I was still going to continue to ignore this, but when I saw that people was like, well, marathon's next, and I'm like, all right, at some point something's got to give. It's got to give, guys. It's got to give. We can't be going down this route. We can't be going down this. Every live service game comes out is we want it to fail, honestly. Like, I get it. It's not nothing special, nothing new. It's the same old generic thing. I get it. Marathon doesn't look generic to me, honestly. It looks pretty cool. I haven't played the game. I saw the trailer for it. It looked different. It didn't put me in mind of Highguard Concord at all. But I'm seeing people honestly just saying, like, yeah, I want to see this game kind of fall apart the same way because it's another live service. And I get it, we're all tied to live services, but I don't think we should start getting into the mentality of, yeah, if we haven't played the game, or at least giving it a try, or at least a fair chance. That's all I'm saying, honestly. Now, I'm not saying you have to play the game, but I'm saying that we shouldn't just start treating every single live service hero shooter game that comes out as the same. Are there too many hero shooters out there? Yes. Are there too many live service games out there? Yes. Did I only play Highguard for one match? Yes. I know it's asking for a lot. But I did go to the training first, and the match lasted way longer than I thought it would, honestly. I thought it was going to be a quick match, but I ended up doing like a 5v5 of, what was it? It was like a raid, something like that. I can't remember what that mode was called. But it was pretty fun for the most part. And honestly, I thought that was the quickest little quick match mode there was, but maybe it wasn't, because the match went on for quite some time. And honestly, I don't regret it at all. You know, it was fun. But would I be playing again anytime soon? Probably not, because I mean, I just got already so many other games that I need to play. Plus, if I really want to scratch that itch for myself of playing like a hero shooter, I would just play Rivals or play Overwatch, honestly. That's just me though. I mean, I'm not against trying something new, but I just feel like Highguard in itself, its characters are not that badly designed, but they're nothing that stand out either. So that's also the case of why I feel like this game just wasn't successful. There's a lot of factors into it, but the obvious one is that there's already enough hero shooters as it is, and people, the gamers, have honestly been saying for a long time, stop with making so many live service games, more single player. And you know, the big corpos are like, nah, we want to make that money. We want that Fortnite money. Nah, we don't want to do that. We want that Fortnite money. So I guess we just had to keep trending down this path. I just hope that we don't just start going down this route of like every time we see a live service game, it's just gonna immediately go to, yeah, let's let this game dies too. Let's let this game become the next Concord, because I'm starting to see a little trend that's starting to happen. And I'm not sure if this is going down the right path. Now, I'm not saying that we should be encouraging slide, but I'm not saying we should just start actually celebrating the fact that we're just games dying within 2 to 3 weeks. Let's see, this game only lasted, for our members, like 31 days more than Concord, which is insane, may I add. Like, what the fuck? This game, we have games coming out and they're just dying within weeks. It's fucking crazy, honestly. And I like I said before, I wouldn't even have made this video if it weren't for the fact that I was just seeing it all up and down my timeline. And for, like I said, I typically was just going to ignore it, but I was like, there's no way. When people start to say a game is so bad, or this game is the most worst thing ever, it got my attention eventually, because it's now I feel like people are exaggerating. And I know when they're exaggerating, the game can't be that bad. And that's where your boy Spectro had to go take a peek and see what got the community all riled up. And yeah, man, this game is not that bad. It's just not nothing special, honestly. And maybe I'm missing something. You know, as for a first-person shooter, I think it does what it sets out to do, but also it fails to make itself stand out in anything. It's not like we haven't seen anything like this before. And since I'm already on this topic, I might as well go ahead and get a little bit into the fact that I'm sure you guys also know about the news of PlayStation deciding to also withdraw having their exclusives be on PC. So that's also a thing that's happening, and then they're gonna keep all their multiplayer games going on all multi-platform. Interesting choice, I'll say. I'm not really per se a PC player, but I would like everyone to enjoy and experience some of my favorite games that I enjoy from the PlayStation exclusives, like Wolverine, Spider-Man. Well, Wolverine out there, but you guys get the point though, right? Ghost of Yotei, those are amazing games, honestly. And honestly, I can't blame them. I can't blame them, honestly. I can't blame them. I can blame them, but you know what I mean. Like, I get why they did it. I say it like that. I get why Sony did what they did. It was obviously numbers. These corporates don't make these sort of decisions for no reason. They look at numbers. Numbers guide everything for these companies. So the numbers just weren't lining up for them. And obviously something wasn't coming up to their liking when it came to those PC ports. That's just what it was. Either it was losing their money, and a lot of money at that, to make them revert that decision. And it just got to that point where it was like, yeah, no more. Alright, we're keeping it exclusive. But not even get too deep into that. Back to the Highguard situation. Yeah, I think Highguard had a lot of potential. I think it could have really grew to be something much greater had it not had a spotlight shown on it the way it was. This is a game that was not supposed to have a spotlight the way it did. This game was put on a pedestal that it was not ready for, alright? It was handed the #1 trophy while everyone in the crowd looked at it and said, who the fuck is this guy? That's literally what this was. All right, it's literally what we were witnessing. These guys were just standing on a #1 pedestal, looking around while the crowd would, I guess, you know, like we don't really want this, you know. They don't want this guy, you know. Can we get him off the pedestal? Why is he the last game we're seeing, you know? And it's just kind of like, yeah, and this is basically what it came down to be. Got pretty much ripped apart the moment it came out. People played it, people didn't like it. It is what it is, man. Also, it didn't help that they went completely silent for like months on end. I didn't keep up with this game. That should tell you everything right there, right? Yeah, I'm not gonna pretend like I was keeping up with this game. I wasn't keeping up with this game. This game got my attention due to the fact that, one, it interests me by the fact how fast they got shut down. Number two, it was interesting to me by how much people kept saying this game was hot garbage, because when a couple of people said, I believe it, but when a whole lot of people say, I don't believe it, because everybody is not agreeing on the same thing. Because I know one thing about Twitter, we have some parrots on Twitter, and then fucking parrots are parrot with everything somebody else is saying, word for word, bar from bar. And I just knew right then and there, I said, you know what, fuck that, I'm finna go see what the fuck this game is about. And honestly, I figured the game's not bad, it's just generic and boring. And honestly, that's worse. That's worse, man. I'd rather my game be stand out for doing something outlandish or trying to experiment and fail at experimenting something than rather just be known as being something boring as, or has been, that's already been done before. You know, rehashing something that's been tread before. And it's like, damn. I think that's even a worse thing to even have on your conscience, to even be known for your masterpiece of a project that you put your life and soul into. I feel pretty bad for the devs, you know, I mean, but they had known though, right? With the character designs and stuff, they had known that the character designs weren't really going to stand out. Like, look at Marathon, with their art style and the way everything goes for Marathon, the way it's looking right now. I haven't played it yet, but the art style stuff looks really cool. And it looks different from all the other hero shooters that are currently out in live service games right now. So it looks different enough, even though it is still a first-person shooter. It looks different enough to make people want to try it out. And from what I'm hearing, they're also listening to feedback pretty well, so that's also a plus for them. And it's made by Bungie, who the same people who done Halo and also what the original Halo games for 343 took over, and then, you know, they also done Destiny. So if you were a fan of those games, then yeah, I mean, I'm sure people gave it a chance off of that credit too. And it's funny now to think about it, because I didn't know these developers were the same people who made Titanfall, also that made Highguard, which is even fucking crazier, bro. Like, whoa, bro, like, what are we doing, bro? What are we doing? How are we? Well, I ain't gonna say why are we making a live service game. I know why they're making live service games. It's not like they have an option, bro. You know, shareholders, yada yada yada. They want that live service. They want something that can keep making money. They don't want a single player game where it's like a one and done deal. They want something that can keep making DLCs for, something that can keep pumping out content for, so they don't have to keep funding brand new games all the time. That's literally what it is. That's nothing more, nothing less. You know, they want these live service games, but I'm gonna be honest, bro. Sony better start abandoning all these live service games. They got to, bro. This shit is killing them, bro. It's gotta stop, bro. Like, you already have a space for it, bro. You already have games in the space. It's already kind of, I didn't even say kind of, it is oversaturated as it is. We don't need more live service hero shooters right now. We just don't. Give it another like 10 years or so, maybe we can talk about it then. But now, nah, man. Keep dropping one live service hero shooter out there, another, bro, or another first person shooter or extraction shooter or whatever the case may be, bro. What was it like? I seen a whole lot of them show up, and I don't even remember them all. I think one was like the finalists. There was another one after that. I can't even remember the name of them, bro. It's so many that kind of show up like every like 2 to 3 months now. It's like, I don't really want to get into them because I just feel like they don't really do anything different. They have a different theme, they have a different look, but at the end of the day, it's the same skeleton, all right? That for me is like, oh, okay, it's not really exciting because I've seen it before and not really making me excited for this at all. And that's how I was with Highguard. I came in Highguard with open mind, but I didn't have very, very high expectations for it when I was actually playing Highguard, because I was like, oh, okay, this ain't really doing much for me, but you know, it is what it is. You know, I was like, it's got some pretty decent characters. The character designs wasn't the worst in the world. It just wasn't nothing that crazy for me, honestly. It didn't really have that same appeal, or did it hit for me like it did when I first played Overwatch. You know, Overwatch was doing something special, something different. Rivals had Marvel characters, which I was very familiar with and very excited to see some of my favorite characters being into a hero shooter like that. So the list goes on, and I hope that the devs for Highguard can learn from this and they can move on to better projects and maybe have their successful careers in the future. But for now, they just have to take their L, man. They're just gonna have to take their L. And with all that being said, those folks, that's all for now. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know I kind of ran it. I might have repeated myself a couple of times. I'm sorry. It wasn't really meant to be like that. I just kind of spitfire, kind of freestyled a bit over this. Honestly, it wasn't really much I kind of like planned out in my head, because I just feel like I just want to talk about it for a little bit, because I feel like we shouldn't be really start going down through wishing for the worst. Now, these games marathon, not saying it will, not saying it should, but marathon so happens to end up on the same path. Not trying to be Mr. Negative here, but I don't think we should be very careful about this path we're treading now. All these live service games, man, the graveyard's getting bigger and bigger. That's all I'm saying. All that being said, folks, thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like the video, start the video. Tell me what you think on the below on Spectrum. See you guys next time. See ya.